Let me daze and shout, I can never stop, but I'll keep on flying till the day I die. Till the day I die.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you for coming today. And thank you very much for supporting Nissan, NISMO, and Autech business. And today, despite your busy schedule, thank you very much for coming over to this presentation. So, as Nissan Motors, this is going to be an announcement of the expansion of the NISMO brand business. First of all, for the NISMO brand, for us, it is a Nissan sub-brand, and the DNA will be the motorsports of Nissan. And this NISMO brand will be communicating the DNA of the motorsports of Nissan and enhance the DNA to the customers to be able to conduct the mission. We want to communicate about our brand to more customers and to be able to deliver more cars to our customers. So that is the reason why it was decided that the NISMO brand business is going to be expanded. And to be able to conduct that, I want to make a presentation about 3 points. Number one is the NISMO brand Roadcars. We want to expand the number of models. Number two, this is the customer engagement. This will be the contact point with the NISMO brand and the customers. Number three is the organization we're going to kick off that will enable us to do these things. So first, I'd like to talk about the model expansion and market expansion of road cars. So we have 4 models here on this floor. So we have 7 models of NISMO road car. From 2012, we have started to introduce these cars, and currently we have 7 models. And these photos we have, this shows DTR NISMO, and this is a global car which is sold all around the world. And this is the current cars that are sold, 370Z. This is sold in Japan, North America, and Europe, a global car. And a Sentra, March, and Patrol, Note. These will be categorized as regional car, not globally sold, but regional cars. These are the road cars that we have. Especially for Note, this is for Japan. Currently, about 9% of the Note series is this Note e-Power NISMO. So it has a high percentage in terms of the sales of Note. I think people highly appreciate it by our customers. And this is contributing, they started to contribute to delivering NISMO cars to a more wider customer base. So we want to expand our number of models from 7, and we want to expand our geography in terms of market. So this is the expansion plan. So for the Note, Sentra, GTR sports models, sedan, hatchback. So these are the conventional NISMO models. On top of that, the red color portion is the areas that we want to expand into. So we want to start to introduce SUVs, crossovers, and it says new here on the very bottom. This will be the EV models or pickup trucks, minivans. These will be more wider, a wider genre will be covering the NISMO brand. And at the same time, these models, in terms of the geography, will be expanding into non-Japanese market, especially in North America and Europe. So we have 7 models right now. We want to more than double the number of models. And as a result, in terms of the presence, currently on annually we sell about 15,000 units, but we want to bring it to the at least 100,000 in the early 2020s. So to be able to do this, we would like to infuse the DNA of motorsports to all the types of Nissan models that are out there. So this would be the idea of NISMO. Especially among the road cars. So we have 3 tiers or categories that we want to set. So in the middle, we have the NISMO layer. This will be the core of the NISMO road cars. So these will be the cars that you shown here. So in terms of exterior, interior, on top of that, in terms of the bodies and the suspensions, we'll be tuning those up. And in terms of the handle, the steering wheel feel, it's more sports-like. So this will be a core NISMO models. And basically, this NISMO, going forward, will be the core, will continue to be the core of any small road cars. On the top layer, upper layer, this will be some models. We will be categorizing these as high performance. So this will be a high performing road cars. And in the future, we want to introduce these type of cars. And on the lower layer, we have the NISMO line option. These will be some aluminum wheels, for instance. So as a package option, we'll be offering these type of personalization options for the core NISMO models. And we would like to enhance these type of options as well. So not only expanding the number of models, but within the same model, you can choose what type or what layer you want to be engaged in. So this is the direction or the image of the design that we're thinking about. So we want to expand the road cars, and we want to do the development and the planning to do so as well. And afterwards, I would like to talk about the organization, but before going into that, we would like to talk about the customer engagement, not only making cars, but we want to disseminate about our brand, and we want to deliver our brand to our customers. So this will be a very important action. So today, I would like to introduce some of these activities. One would be the dealer network. Basically, in the market that we sell NISMO road cars, excluding the GTR, all the Nissan dealers can handle NISMO road cars. That's the current status. And going forward, this is going to stay the same. However, for some of the dealers, we want them to have a function to disseminate about the brand. So I want to have a staff that has the qualified knowledge and have a dedicated display and demo space. By doing so, we want to disseminate more information about our brand. In Japan, currently, we have 26 NISMO performance dealers. These basically, we want to strengthen their brand dissemination function for these performance dealers. But overall, we think we need more than 26. We want to increase these to 40 dealers. And with the overall change of the organization of the overall Nissan brand, we want to expand our dealer presence in Japan. And at the same time, we don't have any of these type of dealers overseas, but in the US, in Europe, we want to set up these type of dealer networks in these markets as well. So that was about the dealer network, and there are some other areas that we want to take initiative so that we can engage our customers more. One of this example is the NISMO Driving Academy. So this not just selling road cars, but we want to offer the venue where people can drive the road cars. As NISMO, we want to conduct these type of activities. And actually, in February already, we have started this on a trial basis, and we have set up a program. So this year in Japan, there will be 8 times that these driving academies are going to be held. The detailed schedule and the venue, it's on the attachment on the back of this presentation. In Japan, 8 times we conducted. Going forward in the future, we want to expand this on a global basis. So in February, the event that we conducted, we have a video of that. So please have a look at that video. So in Japan, 8 times, and Kurum will be the school manager, so to speak, and the Nissan contracted riders will be the instructors. And next, this is from a different perspective. So this Heritage Parts program. And this year, this is going to be a 20th time. On the 26th of November, we're going to conduct this at the Fuji Speedway. So the NISMO, this is about the NISMO Festival, not the Heritage Program. This is a NISMO Festival. This is the 20th time. And we want to expand and enhance the contents of this festival. So this is going to be a 20th anniversary of the NISMO Festival. And we are planning a lot of events. And again, this is a very important event for us. And again, on a different track. This is again another way to expand the contact points with the customers. The Heritage Parts program is going to be started. So what is this Heritage Parts program? So mainly in GTR, these performance cars, there's a lot of vintage cars. And in terms of the parts, it's always the issue. So NISMO is going to be at the center and collaborate with Nissan. And some of the parts are very difficult to get your hands on, and some has been out of production. We want to restore these type of parts, and we have started this project. In autumn this year, we will start selling these parts. So we'll start from the R32 GTR and further expand our coverage. And if things go well, this in itself is a very major endeavor. But if it's possible, we want to expand the models that we cover through this program. I think this will, and this is again a very important activity to enhance the NISMO brand. So I have given you some examples about the customer engagement. So through these various initiatives, we need an organization to back this up. And we have started a dedicated organization to support this. Even before we go this, so one thing I want to mention about motorsports. So our DNA is in motorsports. So within motorsports, one topic I want to mention, one is that in motorsports. So Nissan Motor International Company is engaged in motorsports. And there is a works racing. That's basically what the manufacturers directly do. And there is another activity, customer racing. So selling, for instance, there are racing cars that we sell, for instance, a GTR, for instance. We sell it to the teams all around the world, and we ask customers to participate in this customer racing. So customer racing to expand the contact points with the customers, I think this is very important. And today's topic is that so Nissan GTR, GT300, there's a racing car that we sell to make this more competitive. We are now developing a newly evolved car. So on the 11th of April, we actually conducted we are going to conduct a shakedown at the Fuji Speedway for the newly evolved model, and this went well. Including the test runs in Japan and Europe, and we want to conduct the development for 1 year and further enhance our competitiveness. And we want to make this a racing car that a lot of customers can appreciate. So this is a very important program for us. So this is one of the topics I wanted to mention. So in terms of the organization to do these type of activities, we have set up a dedicated organization, and I would like to explain about that. So the company that is at the basis of this organization, we have Autech Japan and we have Nissan Motors International Companies, two companies. Is a component. So Autech Japan has about 400 companies. It's a 100% subsidiary of Nissan, and it's the conversion of Nissan and Nissan Motorsports International, NISMO. We have about 200 employees, and is the motorsports arm of Nissan. So we do develop some sports tuned parts, and sell them as well, but mainly focusing on motorsports. So this time, within Autech Japan, we are going to set up a NISMO Cars business unit. So Autech Japan will have the NISMO Cars business unit, and in NISMO we have NISMO Racing. That's a tentative name, but these two business units will be enhancing the NISMO brand. So NISMO Cars business unit, currently 50 people, mainly from Nissan Motors, and some from Autech Japan, and from NISMO. So within the Nissan group, we will get the best and the brightest people under NISMO Cars, and what they'll be doing is they'll be planning and developing NISMO Roadcars, and they'll be, of course, to be planning about marketing and aftermarket services. So we have NISMO, Nissan Motors, Autech. In terms of the business, it was just segregated and fragmented, but we want to gather all the know-how and the people for NISMO in one area, and we will be able to accumulate know-how, and at the same time we'll be able to do our work in a better and more efficient way. So that's the reason why we had decided to set up this organization. So NISMO Cars under Autech Japan. So why is it within Autech Japan, you may ask? Well, Autech, or the NISMO road cars that's going to be developed in Autech will be Nissan sports cars is going to be converted in a more sporty manner. And Autech has a lot of know-how about these conversions, so we can utilize and leverage the know-how of Autech. That's a major reason. But besides that, so in terms of infrastructure, Autech has that infrastructure. That has been another reason. So it's a bit complicated, but within Autech Japan, we have set up an NISMO Cars business unit. And with NISMO Racing, they will enhance the NISMO brand globally. So that was about the organization. So we will produce road cars and enhance our engagement with the customers. And within the Nissan Group, we want to enhance the know-how and expertise. And through this, we want to expand the brand of NISMO. And by doing so, we want to further enhance the appeal of the Nissan cars overall. So I hope for your support going forward through our endeavors going forward. Another thing I want to mention is from another perspective. So in terms of the Autech brand in itself, we want to strengthen that. So Autech as a company will be converting workers' cars or developing welfare-related cars, and they have Autech sub-brands, and they have been doing converted cars. For instance, the more premier rider, I think basically in terms of number of units, they sell more of these. So we want to establish Autech as a brand name within Japan, that is. So within Japan, we want to launch the Autech brand. So for rider or for the more premier, well, it would take some time to gradually, for the core models, to consolidate these into the Autech brand. So NISMO is a global brand, not only focusing on Japan, but NISMO would be more a pure sports play. So Autech, it would be a premium sports perspective. So they both are engaged in sports, but we want to differentiate in terms of which direction of sports they want to do. So this is basically in Japan. This is the direction that we are thinking of. So this is the design image. And so we have NISMO and Autech. We want to launch these type of brands. Well, that is the Autech's idea. So this is just on the slide that we are explaining, but in terms of the NISMO brands and Autech models, there will be some NISMO, there will be expanded line of models, and for Autech models, there will be new models. And this autumn and winter timing, we want to actually show you the actual cars, and we will send out an invitation when that time comes, so please stay tuned. So we want to enhance this brand globally. And in Japan, for NISMO and Autech, we want to enhance this brand presence as a sub-brand of Nissan. So I hope for your further support. Thank you so much for your attention. So then let's go to Q&A. For those who have questions, please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. So the gentleman on the front side of the room, please. Kiga from Toyo Keizai. So you said in the future, in the early 20s, you want to grow the sales by the 100,000 units. But I think you have in terms of specific markets, which markets you want to strengthen? And in terms of the models, you said it seems that they are going to introduce more new SUV models. So what are the potentials do you feel that SUVs have? And as the Nissan sub-model, you want to increase the sales of road cars. But from 15,000 to 100,000, you want to grow the sales. Do you think that you feel that you have a potential here, but I want to ask why you're specifically focusing on the NISMO road cars in terms of growing the number of units. Well, in terms of the market, in terms of the number of markets, we have Japan, the US, Europe, as a region that is, and Middle East. These will be the markets that we already have presence in. In terms of number of markets, look, Southeast Asia countries, Latin America, including Mexico, I think these markets will have potential. But in terms of number of units, expansion, I think there will be more in US and Europe. By increasing the model lines, increasing the number of units is where the growth is. And of course, that goes the same for Japan. So we want to increase that to 15,000, 100,000 in terms of growth potential. I think US and Europe will be the driver of the growth. And for instance, if China can be within the scope, maybe China will be a great contributor. China, we don't have no presence at all right now. So in terms of the models, so these sports models, we have sedan, hatchbacks. I think that's a kind of a business as usual. We will continue that type of model proposal models, but I think the customer's preference is diverse. SUVs, crossovers, and minivans, which is more life stage cars. Of course, there's a certain demand there. And we don't want to be too much focused on sedan and hatchbacks, SUVs, crossovers, minivan, pickup trucks in the United States. In those type of cars, there will be more customer. I think there's a potential demand for more sporty cars in those type of cars. In terms of EV, I think the direction is the same for us. So we want to expand at the type of cars from the current sedan and hatchbacks. So let's go to the next gentleman. Well, this is related to Kiga-san's question. Why are you focusing on NISMO road cars at this junction? What is your objective? And in terms of production and sales, well, in terms of sales in overseas, are you going to use the Nissan dealers? And we want to supply these globally. So what will be your production allocation plan? So you ask why now? Well, from 2012, actually, as Nissan, they started planning about these road cars and started introducing the 7 models. So we have 7 models right now, and actually from a year ago we started to discuss that we should accelerate this direction. And of course we have gotten the feedback from the market that they want these more type of cars, and we have been setting up projects looking at the economic side of the equation. So in terms of the potential, I think there was there, but we started to discuss this about 1 year ago, and the organization has started from this April. So I think the timing was right for us to announce this at this time, at this time. And I think basically about 5% of the 10% in every market, there is a demand for these type of cars. So people feel 5 to 10% of people feel that they want more exciting driving experience. It's the same all over the world. So we have prepared, and because we are ready, that's the reason why we have announced this initiative. In terms of production, well, basically, NISMO Cars business unit will plan, develop, and produce. And in terms of the production in overseas, we will ask the overseas plants to produce and sell them. So each of the local market will be in charge of production and sales. In Japan, I think it's the same case. So in terms of the Autech, production know-how that Autech has, because they're very good in producing small lot cars with a lot of variations. And Autech has a lot of know-how in that area. So we want to communicate and that know-how, Autech's know-how, to all of the production sites around the world to be able to do so. For the dealerships, basically all the Nissan dealers should be able to sell our cars. So any other questions? Okay, let's go to the next row. Maria from Bloomberg. So you said that you want to increase from 50,000 to 100,000. So is it like a increase of 30,000 per year, 50,000 per year? And China, are you planning to go into the Chinese market? In terms of the volume, we want to bring it to over than 100,000 at least. And because we feel that this is a potential market, so at least 100,000, we think we'll be able to bring it up to that volume. And China, is still under consideration. We do feel that the demand is out there, but we're just considering how is the right way to go into the Chinese market right now. So let's go to the very last row, gentleman here. So I'm from Sankei Newspapers. I have 3 questions. Number 1 is this new organization. So the development of NISMO Roadcars compared to the conventional NISMO Roadcars, what's different? For instance, the Nissan headquarters, is it a specialized division from Nissan headquarters? What is the difference between the conventional organization? And you talked about the market size, and you talked about SUVs and crossovers. So if you have a target in terms of number of models, please let me hear about that. And another point is a differentiation with the competitors. For Toyota, they have this Gazoo initiative, and Subaru has their own Roadcar initiative, and Gazoo is showing TVCMs. So are you really focusing on the competitors? And as NISMO, what is the differentiation of NISMO compared to with the competitors? Well, in terms of the organization, it used to be the case that it was fragmented. It was all over the organization. So NISMO's business office was a very small office that coordinated all these initiatives, and they went around asking people to do this and that, and it was different model by model. So for this model I have to go here, for this model I have to go to another division. So it was very time consuming, and then there's a lot of things that we have to ask a lot of other peripheral organizations as well. So it was not efficient at all, too time consuming. And in terms of the know-how, it will be in silos, and it was a kind of a project by project approach. But we decided that we should make it into a formal organization. So it used to be the case, it was fragmented. Of course, we was in Nissan Group, but for instance, some was Autech. We asked Autech to do something. In some cases, we did not. But it was a project by project approach, so we changed that. So in terms of number of models, we currently have 7. We want to double that from 7. So most of the new models will be other categories that we have compared to what we have currently. And talking about our competitors, of course, we are looking at our competitors. So even before Toyota and has been doing this business, we have a long history. So we want to win over them. And NISMO focus is motorsports, and it's a representation of motorsports. And we want to offer customers good and appealing products, and I think that's the only way that we can differentiate. Okay, let's go to another question. Yamato from Motorsports. So the customer racing GTR, but I want to ask about the GTR GS customer racing. In 2018, you have a sales target. How many do you want to sell? So, and within FIA, I think there's a price cap to that. So how much are we planning to sell these type of cars? If you have any information, please. Well, in terms of number of units, I think it's more the thing in the future. So we have been selling more than 30 GT3s. Well, of course, we do want to sell more than this. In terms of the pricing, I think we have to consider that. But we can't, be too unrealistic about the price. So we have to discuss about that. But of course, we think the pricing should be appropriate as well. Any other questions? No questions? So I think we have reached the right timing to end the Q&A session. And after this,